Hello, this is Yez in his own production of Yez Gets Bored and decides to make a Holy Spec video. I could go roughly over each little bit in Holy and what I think is important, what's not. Just run over some basics. You got when you choose Holy Specialization as your spec, you get the spell Holy Shock, which is a great instant heal which should be used off every cooldown, as it gives you a Holy Power charge. You've got Walk and Light, it's just a base 10% increase on all healing spells. Meditation allows 50% of your mana generation from spirit to continue while in combat. Always gravy. And here's a Holy Paladin's Mastery. It's sort of a bubble from your heals. Your direct healing spells also place and absorb shield on your target for 14% of the amount healed, lasting 8 seconds. Each point of mastery increases the absorbed amount by an additional 1.5%. Base amount's 8%, so or 8 mastery, sorry. I've got a bit more than that, just it's not the best stat for us at the moment. Click on Holy. But in your top tier here, you've got your first thing you can put points in is called Arbiter of Light. It's pretty useless for Holy Pallies. It's increased critical strike, critical effect chance of your Judgment and Templar's Verdict. Useless, don't want to do crits with those. Protector of the Innocent, casting a target to heal on any target except yourself also heals you for 1,055. We do put 3 points in here. I'll explain why. When you're raiding, you often take a lot of damage yourself, and for fights such as Chimeron, it's very good if you get hit by a caustic slime. You can just heal 3 other people and heal yourself back up to max. Or just when you're taking damage and you don't have to heal yourself because you know you're healing by healing other people. It's exceptionally good. Right, the next thing to put points in is Judgment of the Pure. Your judgments increase your casting and melee haste by 3% for 1 minute. You put 3 points in here. Might seem a bit strange putting that extra point in there when you only need 5 to drop down, but it's very nice to have. In your next tier down, you've got Clarity of Purpose. It reduces your casting time of Holy Light and Divine Light spells by 0.15 seconds. 3 points again in here. Very nice to have that reduced cast time. Last word is another good thing to put points in. It's increased critical strike chance of your Word of Glory, which is a healing spell which uses Holy Power. When used on targets with less than 35% health or less, so targets with less than 35% health, sorry. Great if tanks are getting a battle and you need to just whack them back up over 20-30k. 2 points in there, so 60%. Yeah, last bit in there you could put points in maybe for PvP. Don't really see much use unless you're using points from Ret. So increases damage by your Holy Shock and Exorcism spell by 10%. Pretty useless in my opinion. It might be a bit viable if on some fights where you're damaging, so maybe on Rohash in the Conclave of Wind if you're doing more damage rather than healing. Denounce, this is another Exorcism buff thing. Maybe PvP again. Reduces the mana cost of Exorcism by 38%. In addition, you have 25% chance when casting Holy Shock to make your next Exorcism spell instant and cost no mana. Maybe if you want to do a bit DPS round. Divine Favour, now this is something you need to spec into, it's one of your cooldowns, it's great. Increases your spell casting haste by 20% and your spell critical strike chance by 20% for 30 seconds. That's a great little buff you get from that. You can do quite a lot of healing in that time. Point in there. Infusion of Light. This increases the critical strike chance of your Holy Shock by 5%, so 10% with 2 points. In addition, also your Holy Shock criticals now reduce the cast time of your next Holy Light or Divine Light by 0.75 seconds or 1.5 seconds if 2 points are put in. It's great to put 2 points in there. Next along the line, you've got Daybreak. Your Flash of Light, Holy Light and Divine Light have a 10% chance to make your next Holy Shock within your next Holy Shock not to trigger a cooldown if used within 12 seconds. Put 2 points in there, so you've got 20% chance not to have a cooldown on your next from your Holy Light, Flash of Light and Divine Light spells to make no cooldown on Holy Shock. Is great, it's a double heal. It's a very cheap heal as well. Holy Shock. It only costs about K1.5 mana. Very good instant cast spell to have. I'm trying to think, it does about 16k crits or 18k, maybe 20k. It's great to have that. If you can do it twice, it's about 20k normal and about 30-40k crits, so always great. Enlightened Judgments increases hit rating equal to 50% of your spirit and increases the range of judgments by 5 yards. It also heals you for 2k. You put 2 points in there. So you need the range on judgment, you're going to be miles away from the boss most of the time. So 10 yards is great. Also healing yourself with judgment is another good thing, you're always doing that. So heals yourself again, it's another good thing to be able to heal yourself without actually using any cast time. Beacon of Light. If you don't get this, you're not a holy pally really. You know, you should know that anyway, just roughly. The target, it's got a 60 yard range. The target becomes a beacon of light within up to all members of your party or raid within a 60 yard radius. Each heal you cast from a party or raid member will also heal the beacon for 50% of the amount healed. Only one target can be targeted. It lasts 5 minutes. It's great to have. I cannot stress how great that is. Speed of Light. This is pretty good. It gives you 3% spell haste. And 3 points to put in. Just whack 3 points in there. Also reduces the cooldown of Holy Radiance by 30 seconds. So it's got a 30-second cooldown instead of a 1. Also increases your movement speed when you cast Holy Radiance by 60% for 4 seconds. Great for when you need to do a little bit of jogging. Some people might not take this next point. It's generally something Pallies do because you've got enough mana and you've got the great best regen at the moment. Is Cleanse spell now, Sacred Cleansing. Your cleanse spell now dispels magic, or one magic effect. It's great to have. Conviction. This is something you should always have again. It gives you 1% chance. Gives you 1% bonus to damage and healing for 15 seconds after causing a critical effect from a weapon, swing, spell or ability. This stacks up to 3 times. So basically 3 points in there. Gives you 3% bonus healing and it stacks 3 times to 9%. Or Mastery. Not a fan of this in PvE in honesty. I always skip that. It increases causes your concentration aura to make all affected targets immune to silence and interrupt effects, and improves the effect of all other auras by 100% for 6 seconds and a 2-minute cooldown. So that's got 5% uptime. Might be great, not really a fan. Paragon of Virtue. Reduces the cooldown of Divine Protection by 10 seconds, Hand of Sacrifice by 15, Avenging Wrath by 30. I like to have 2 points in there. 2 reasons for this. Being able to use Hand of Sacrifice more is great. It saves damage on tanks, and of course you're healing yourself by healing other people, so you're healing yourself for the damage you take from that. And Avenging Wrath is a great cooldown to have on a short cooldown, 2-minute cooldown. Avenging Wrath is Avenging Wrath spell increases all damage and healing by 20% for 20% for 20 seconds. It's a great ability to have. Next tier down, Tower Radiance, healing the target with your Beacon of Light. Also healing the target with your Beacon of Light with a Flash of Light or Divine Light spell gives a 33% chance